Hey friends, it's Gina. Welcome to the Rebookery channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. I wanted to pop on today and show you all what I have done in my current obsession, which is my traveler's notebook that I got a couple of weeks ago. So I did some modifications and I made some DIY stuff to add in here, so I thought I would share that with you today. So first of all, my traveler's notebook is very fat. I have 3 inserts in here, plus I have a pocket that I made out of page protectors, and then I have my checkbook cover, bank book cover that I showed you guys on the last video, which I'll link below. So I added some tags or some little, I don't know, little trinkets that I had to the front. And I cut the bookmark off because I realized I didn't like that. But the biggest change I made was I didn't like that when my notebook had the inserts in, that all this stuff was hanging out. And normally I'm a person that likes all this stuff hanging out, but it was hanging out way too much. So I sewed a little extender onto my journal. And I know people will freak out because people are obsessed with the leather and stuff, and I think that's awesome. I am not. So, and like I said, I got this at a thrift store, so you know, I really couldn't do too much to it. I mean, it was at a thrift store when I found it. So what I did was I just took some vintage fabric that I had gotten at an estate sale, and I took like a shoestring. It was a round cord, and I just stitched the shoestring in because I needed it to have some bulk. So I stitched that in and then took the 2 ends of the fabric and ran my sewing machine through it. And I actually ran it through a couple of times. So I didn't know if my sewing machine was going to actually be able to do this, but it did. And I was excited. Now, my sewing machine repairman, when I told him I sewed through leather, he about fell over. He thinks I'm crazy anyway because I tell him I sew through cardstock and cardboard. So when I told him I sewed through this, he said, well, you need to change your needle because you probably have bent your needle. And so, yes, I still need to change my needle. I haven't. But it's sewed through, and I was very excited because now I can shove my stuff in there and I don't have all that stuff hanging over. So that was kind of exciting. So I liked that. So another thing that I did was I added in the, I've seen the little zipper pockets, and I think those are so cute, but I'm cheap and I didn't want to spend the money on one, so I figured I could make it on my own. So I looked up on YouTube, and there's tons of videos on how to make these on your own. So I found one, and I made my own out of a page protector. So just a basic page protector like that you can get at Walmart or Office Max or whatever, Office Depot, and just make sure it's really thick. But what I basically did was I sewed down the center. I cut out like a pocket over here, and so I sewed this edge so then I could stick things in this pocket right here. I stitched across the top, and then over here I took and I just happened to make it the perfect size. I didn't even mean for this to happen, but I made this pocket. So I just cut this front side a little bit shorter, about 2 inches shorter. And then this, I just stitched right here, put a piece of double-sided tape, and it actually becomes a pocket. So the cool thing is it perfectly fits all of my alphabet stickers that, you know, I have scads of, because you run out of E's, you run out of N's, you run out of A's, and then what are you going to do? So I use these in my traveler's notebook because I'm not going to throw them away, and I'll figure out how to make an S or an N. So I stick these in here, and my goal is to use them all up, and they fit perfectly. So that was kind of cool. So I liked that. And then I made 2 more inserts, which I think I showed the last time, but this is my next insert that I'm going to use, and this is my 3rd insert that I'm going to use, and I think I showed you guys that, and I showed you the papers. And secretly, I've made 5 other inserts that I'm going to list in my Etsy shop and make a video to walk you through those. So look for that video. It should be coming, I'm hoping, tomorrow, Super Bowl Sunday. I'm hoping to list those and get the video up and get them posted on Instagram and see if anybody would like to buy them. Okay, so here is my insert that I've been working on. This is all the stuff I did last week. Oh, newsflash. Oh my gosh, I got so excited about my traveler's notebook that I finally got off my big fat butt and printed pictures. It had been forever since I had printed pictures, and I needed to get it done. So I just sat down one night and I printed over 135 pictures, I think. So now I have pictures to put in my traveler's notebook, and I'm just so excited. I can't even stand myself. I'm so excited. So a couple of things I did was I just went in and added some pictures to my pages that I had already done because I had pictures and I just was too lazy to print them. So I think we ended up, oh, it was right about here last week. So this is where I left off, and I went crazy with the paint this week. I was just loving it. I was loving being messy. I was loving that I journaled every single day. I actually wrote something every single day, and it wasn't just a list. Like, I actually wrote real sentences, which is a huge milestone for me because I'm not a writer, but I want to be. So one of the things I found that helps me to write is I'll just start writing, and for some reason I can't start at the top and write down like you're supposed to. So I will start somewhere writing on my page. I usually write upside down on the sides. I'll write part of a sentence here and part of a sentence over here. But as long as I get it written down, that's all I need. I don't need to go back and read it. In fact, I don't really like to go back and read it. So once I would get my writing down, then I would start adding all kinds of stuff to help tell the story. So this was last Saturday, and I woke up and I was sick. And so I started to tell the story by writing it. Then I added like my prescription label and some quotes or sayings that I was thinking, and then my mind got off track and I started coming up with for whatever reason I went on a quest to find all the different names that people call God. So I just started looking it up and writing down all the different names that people call God. So I just started putting those on there. And my husband and my dog made a donut run, which made me being sick so much better. So I put a picture of my donuts there and then added some paint. And I was like, yeah, this is it. This is my Saturday. I was excited about that. Then on Sunday, I could not get the traveler's notebook out of my hand. And I finally was like, I need to step away from the notebook. I was just obsessed. I was going back and adding little things and making inserts, and it was just, I needed to walk away from it. So this was my dog and I went out and we just happened to go on a walk, and we live behind a high school where there's football fields and soccer fields and a cross-country track. So we were out walking, and lo and behold, there was my son who was practicing his field goal kicks for the football team. So we joined him, and I took some pictures, and I was able to get them all printed out. So in this page that I did, I added like a little tip in, I guess. And then I was able to put pictures of him, made a little pocket, stuck that in, thought that was awful cute. But I originally started off on this day, this was Sunday, as just listing all of the things I have to do. I feel like on Sundays my head is full of all the things I need to do on the week. So this just started off as a list of everything I needed to do throughout the week. And then once I put all that down, I started adding some paints and some doodles and some stamps, and so it just kind of came together like this. And at the end of the day, once I had gotten away from the notebook and gone out and actually done something, then I added this tip in with pictures of my dog and my son. So that was my Sunday. Then on Monday, my daughter bought a house. So this was all about going to see her house for the first time. So we were really excited. I had a piece of storybook paper that had a picture of a house. So I put that on there. I made a little pocket up here, or a little tuck spot, I guess is what people call it. And so I put some pictures of her and her fiance when we went to see them at their house. And these little pictures right here came from Flow magazine for paper lovers. And they were the cutest little images. They're like a illustrated black and white girl, and then there's behind it is an actual photograph. So it's kind of like an illustration and a photograph together. So I thought they were awful cute because they were of a grown-up girl, and that was the story I wanted to tell about Monday. My daughter became a grown-up girl, and then I just happened to have this picture of her when she was probably 2 years old, 3 years old, and with her little pigtails, and I stuck that on here. So that was Monday. Then on Tuesday, I discovered my new favorite drink at Starbucks. And I'm not a big sweet drink person. Like, I pretty much like my same drinks at Starbucks, but oh my goodness. So it's a smoked butterscotch, whatever, I don't know, extra hot, almond milk, no whip. Oh my goodness, it is delightful. So I had to journal about that. This is a calendar page from like a 1962 calendar, and the image was of this girl standing and looking into a birdhouse, and I loved that image, so I just kept it and then just kind of journaled some stuff over it, did some doodles and some stickers and things like that. I am longing for summer, and I am not a summer person, but for whatever reason right now, this time of year, I am dying for summer. So this is a picture from last summer of my first craft show that I did, and I just felt like it looked really springy and summery, and it kind of went with this. And so on the back I just journaled about how it was fun setting up my booth and how I'm kind of looking forward to craft season again this year. Then I continued, this is Monday after we went to my daughter's house, but I couldn't fit it here, so I just put it here on the back side of that calendar page. So this was what the moon looked like. I'm obsessed with the moon. And so this is what the moon looked like when we were coming home. And I kid you not, there was a star up above it. And I just, as I'm watching, as we're driving home, I'm looking and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's almost like that star could have a little rope and it would be connected to the moon, and wouldn't that be cool? And I don't know, I just kind of got a little carried away with it. So this was my image of the moon that night, and I just used like some white packing tape to make the moon. And then this is just a piece of book paper that I painted and added some splatters, and then I stitched some little like, oh, I don't know, it's like glittery type of baker's twine, stuck that in there. But the real reason why I did this was because so Kansas City Royals is our baseball team, and our pitcher, who's only 25 years old, he died a couple weeks ago in a car accident. So all of Kansas City is in mourning, and there's a lot of memorials. And so right in my daughter's new neighborhood, there is a tower. It's an old water tower, and they've got it lit up in blue because that's color for Kansas City Royals, and it's in honor of the pitcher that died. So as we left her house, we went by that, and I was like, ooh, I need a picture. So I took a picture of that, since I now have my printer and I'm printing pictures out. So I printed that out and put it on here, and just put his number on here. Then I started to get sick. So this is where my week went poopy. And it just started with, again, I was able to journal, which I was so excited about, but not in a straight line, and nobody can read it. I don't even know that I could read it. And then just kind of, you know, some ramblings about how I was feeling. And, oh, this is kind of cute. So this is my little, my tea that I have every night. So I just stuck the little tag in there and then just kind of used it as a little flap. My son's car, as always, is falling apart, so I put a little speech bubble there that says, Mom, can I borrow your car? Thursday, I was just not feeling the love from the earth because I was just stressed and sick and tired and blah, blah, blah. So my journaling is all about me being stressed, and so I just wrote all the things that were stressing me out. Of course I wrote it this way. And then I just wrote it in pencil, but I had actually watercolored this paper first. And it was, I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if it was the paper or the watercolor, but oh my gosh, I just like could sit here and feel it forever. It is so smooth and not chalky at all. And I don't know, I need to use that watercolor again. So anyway, I just wrote about all the things that were stressing me out. And lo and behold, as soon as I wrote all that stuff, I felt a lot better. And then I don't want to leave my page negative. So if I write something really, really negative, like I'm stressed out about all this stuff, then I want to go back and cover it with something really pretty so that I'm left on a positive note. So I just went back and did some scraps of paper I glued on there, just took some old scrap art that I had laying around, cut it out in flowers, found a picture, because I'm printing pictures now, found a picture of my husband and I when we went to a sunflower farm like last fall. It has nothing to do with anything I'm talking about in here, but it was just a pretty picture, and I was just like, okay, I need this to make this pretty and not be so negative and stressed out. And so I stuck that picture on there, and so yeah, that was my Thursday. And then my Friday, I was so sick I actually stayed home from school on Friday. So I didn't do a lot of journaling, but I did actually get something written last night before I went to bed, and wrote one way in one color, wrote another way in another color, added some doodles, and that's about it. I was running on low yesterday, that's for sure. And then these are just some papers that I've stuck in here that I want to add on my next few pages. So that's what I did in my traveler's notebook this week, and I'm kind of excited to finish this one up and start a new insert. And like I said, look for my next video, because I have 5 inserts that I have made just like these, and I'm going to be listing them in my Etsy shop. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the description below. And guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate all the love and all the comments that you guys always leave me. It's great to hear from people that are kind of random and quirky and a little weird like me. So keep the love coming, and have a great rest of the day. Bye.